didn't lose your motivation because you're lazy. You lost it because something inside you broke free. And what no one tells you is that awakening doesn't make life easier. Sometimes it makes it harder to live in. You see, after a spiritual awakening, there's this weird contradiction that most people don't talk about. You wake up to the truth. You realize that you're not your job, not your story, not your thoughts. And for a few days or weeks, that feels like bliss. But then comes emptiness, like life suddenly has no point. If you haven't seen our previous video, Why You Have No Motivation After Spiritual Awakening, I highly recommend watching it. It sets the emotional groundwork for everything we're about to unpack in this one. Because this isn't just about finding motivation, this is about finding meaning when the old sources of meaning no longer work. Stay with me, because I promise it's going to reconnect you with something you thought you had lost, not just understanding, but a sense of direction after awakening. Let's start with what really happens when you wake up. It's not just a moment of insight, it's a psychological earthquake. Everything you used to care about, success, validation, even personal identity, gets dismantled. And once that structure collapses, what's left? Nothing. Just the naked self. And that's terrifying. This is the part people don't prepare you for, because awakening isn't just a spiritual experience, it's a psychological crisis. Carl Jung called this the encounter with the self. It's the moment when your ego realizes it is no longer the center of the universe. And that's not freedom. That's a death. In Jungian psychology, this is when the persona, the mask you wear to function in society, starts to dissolve. But what replaces it is not instantly clarity or peace. It's confusion, existential fog. Because once the old narrative is gone, you're just standing there, storyless. And here's what no one tells you. Your mind will try desperately to cling to something. Anything. Old beliefs, new spiritual dogmas, even depression, because at least that feels real. But what if that meaninglessness is not a problem? What if it's an invitation? Hold that thought. In part 2, we're going to explore what Carl Jung believed was the real path forward after spiritual awakening. It's not about going back to normal, it's about building something far deeper. And the way he framed this journey might flip your whole understanding of healing. So, if the emptiness you feel after awakening isn't a problem, what is it? Carl Jung believed that this void, the absence of your old self, is not the end of your journey. It's the invitation to begin the real one. But here's the twist. That journey isn't upward toward enlightenment. It's downward, into the unknown, into you. And that's where most people get stuck. They think the awakening is the final destination. But Jung would say it's only the threshold. Jung said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. After a spiritual awakening, your ego has been cracked wide open. That means the unconscious, your shadow, your fears, your unresolved pain, starts to leak through. The problem is, we're taught to seek light, but we're not taught how to sit with the dark. That's why you might feel numb, restless, or weirdly isolated. You've expanded your awareness, but you haven't yet integrated it. This is what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are by confronting the full spectrum of your psyche. It's messy, emotional, and it's necessary. Because real meaning doesn't come from escaping the world, it comes from becoming whole in it. Let's challenge a popular belief. Ego death is not enlightenment. It's trauma to your identity. The ego isn't evil. It's just incomplete. Jung didn't want us to kill the ego. He wanted us to grow it up, to evolve it from a survival-based mask into an aware, balanced self that works in harmony with the unconscious and the soul. So if you're sitting there thinking, why do I feel so fragmented after awakening? It's because you are. You've cracked the shell, but the inner architecture hasn't been rebuilt yet, and that takes time. This is where many people start numbing themselves, chasing highs, dissociating, over-spiritualizing. They're still looking for something outside to give them back that sense of meaning. But Jung's whole philosophy? The meaning you're looking for isn't out there. It's in the parts of yourself you haven't met yet. So the question becomes, how do you rebuild that meaning? How do you find purpose when the old one has collapsed and you can't go back? In part 3, we'll break down how Jung believed you reconstruct your identity post-awakening, not by returning to who you were, but by becoming who you were always meant to be. And yes, we'll talk about synchronicity, archetypes, and why your dreams might be more important than your goals right now. So maybe you felt it, that ache, like something wants to move forward, but you're stuck in a limbo between who you were and who you're becoming. It's like you're waiting for life to give you a green light, but it never comes. Carl Jung called this stage the reconstruction of the self. And here's the truth. Most people never get past it. They circle back into old patterns or worse, stay in that post-awakening fog for years, numbing it with distraction or detachment. But what Jung discovered, and this might shock you, is that the pathway out isn't about doing more or finding motivation. It's about understanding the architecture of your inner world. Let's talk about Jung's concept of archetypes, the universal patterns of the human psyche. Think of them as inner blueprints that help you make sense of who you're becoming. The hero, the seeker, the wise one, the orphan. They're not fantasy, they're patterns of transformation. When you've awakened, your old archetype, maybe the achiever, the pleaser, the survivor, no longer works. That's why everything feels pointless now. You're not broken, you've simply outgrown your role. And that's powerful, because now you get to choose. Not based on fear or programming, but on truth. Jung said the task is not to become good or even spiritual, it's to become whole. That means embracing your contradictions, your shadows, your gifts, your grief. Because your new meaning won't come from the outside world, it's already coded in you, waiting to be remembered. Most people ignore their dreams, but Jung didn't. He believed that your unconscious mind sends you messages nightly, trying to guide you toward integration. It's not woo-woo. It's your brain reorganizing your psyche. Pay attention to recurring symbols, to animals, to impossible buildings, to that familiar stranger you keep seeing. They're not just random, they're messengers. So if you've been feeling lost, start here. Keep a dream journal. Write the images. Don't analyze. Just observe. Over time, you'll see the map forming. Patterns will emerge. It's your subconscious giving you pieces of the new identity you're building. And when you start acting on those hints, synchronicities begin to show up. Life starts whispering back. That's the alchemy Jung was pointing to. Now, you might be wondering, but how do I live this? How do I take all this inner transformation and actually build a life with it? Because awareness is beautiful, but you still have bills to pay, relationships to show up for, a reality to function in. That's exactly where we're going in part 4. We're going to talk about how to bring your new self into the world with clarity, purpose, and peace. Yes, even in this chaotic modern life. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. Awakening doesn't make you superhuman. It actually makes you more human, real, vulnerable, aware. And that awareness demands something from you. It doesn't let you go back to autopilot. The world around you will keep trying to pull you back into noise, performance, and comparison. But Carl Jung would remind you, the goal is not to fit back into the box. It's to learn how to live from your center, in the real world. And to do that, you need new tools. Not just techniques, but inner frameworks that support the emergence of your truest self. So let's talk about 3 powerful tools from Jung's perspective that can help you find meaning again. Not borrowed meaning, not Instagram motivation, but your own. Tool number 1, relearn the language of silence. Our world is loud, obnoxiously loud, not just in sound but in expectation. Even healing has been turned into noise. So when we finally stop, when we sit alone, with no phone, no stimulation, just us and the quiet, most people panic. Because in silence, there's no script to follow. There's no algorithm to please. There's only you. And you've probably been avoiding that version of yourself for a very long time. Jung would say, silence is not absence, it's presence. A presence so deep, it threatens the ego's illusion of control. Silence is where the self begins to speak, not the outer self, the inner witness, the soul. But here's the trick. Don't sit in silence trying to hear something profound. That's still ego. Sit in silence without needing it to do anything. Let it feel scary. Let the boredom surface. Let the discomfort crawl across your skin. This is your psyche detoxing from noise addiction. And in that stillness, patterns rise. You begin to notice what your nervous system is trying to tell you. Your emotional backlog gets a voice. And eventually, a quiet knowing emerges. Not from thought, but from felt truth. This is where the roots of meaning are planted, because silence makes space for your own authority. And yes, it can be terrifying to realize no one else, not your parents, not gurus, not systems, can tell you what's right for your soul. Only you can. But that's also freedom. That is where meaning starts. Tool number 2, reclaim your personal myth. After awakening, many people feel disconnected from the game of life. Jobs feel fake, goals seem hollow, relationships feel transactional. But Jung would say you're not beyond the world, you've just outgrown your borrowed story. Now it's time to remember the myth you came here to live. Every soul has a myth, a unique pattern of being it came to express. It's not always obvious, sometimes it's buried beneath years of conditioning. But if you look closely, you can find clues. Think back to childhood. What did you do effortlessly before shame entered the room? What made you lose track of time simply because it felt alive? Even if it seems childish, weird, or unproductive, there's a thread of meaning there. Jung believed these early expressions are not random. They're glimpses of the self before it was edited by the world. This is not about setting goals. It's about listening to what life is trying to express through you. What keeps coming back again and again, no matter how much you try to suppress it. That is your myth calling, and it won't look like anyone else's path, because it's not supposed to. Tool number 3, turn your suffering into art. Here's one of the biggest cultural lies, that creativity comes from happiness and that art is only for the talented. Jung would disagree entirely. He saw creative expression as the psyche's natural way of healing itself. When we bring the unconscious into form, through images, writing, sound, movement, we liberate the stuck energy inside us. So stop waiting to feel good to create. In fact, use your anger. Use your grief. Use your confusion. Let the emotions be paint, not poison. You don't need to be a real artist. You need to express. Do it like a child. Curious, messy, unapologetic. Not for likes, not for perfection, but because something inside you needs to come out. And here's the thing. The more raw and real you allow it to be, the more it becomes transcendent. Not only do you find meaning through it, you create meaning for others too. In conclusion, integration isn't about going back to who you were. It's about letting go of everything that isn't truly you, and then living from the clarity that remains. Silence gives you access to your inner voice. Your personal myth gives you direction. And creativity gives you the courage to embody it. Yes, awakening might cost you things, relationships, identities, careers. But if those things were built on illusion, then they were never really yours to begin with. The reward is real meaning that no one can take from you because you remembered it yourself. If this video spoke to something real in you, you're not alone. This path can feel isolating, but it's also one of the most honest things you'll ever walk. So here's my question for you. What's one truth you've had to face since your awakening that completely changed how you see yourself or the world? Drop it in the comments. You never know who your story might help. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Fractal Wisdom. It's a space for seekers, misfits, and deep thinkers who want to build a life rooted in truth, not illusion. Thank you for being here.